It's the denouement of Twaugust breaking Twawn. As we reach the credits of both parts 1 and 2, we will slowly arrive at the station. Okay, but why does the theme still sound like it's building towards something? I don't understand that. We're at the end of it. But yeah, it sounds like we're building towards something big. Twaugust breaking Twawn. Choo choo, motherfuckers. We are here. We are in the credits. We are going to be decompressing rather than trying to dissect. I mean, we'll be dissecting a bit, but trying to actively in the moment dissect the information presented. This is, I think, this is the autopsy. If they're undead, is that even a thing? I don't. Would be any medical check on a dead person be an autopsy? These are the questions that we have to come up with while we are in this space at the end of our Twilight breaking. Well, no, I'm not. Sorry, I'm trying to say. Well, Twilight breaking Twawn. That's one part. But what I'm trying to say is the Twilight Saga. But I was trying to think if the Twilight Twaga makes more sense. But for some reason, that makes me think of Maga, and I don't want to go there unless there's a superior demand for a Twaugust Twilight Twaga hat, then, maybe. Well, I hope you're queued up, because we can get this ready to go. One more. There's no plot to talk about. What do we got to do? Let's just watch these credits and discuss each movie. We're going to still talk about these movies. Not. I'll try not to do them together. I'll try and do a little bit of decompressing about each of them individually. And we'll save sort of the decompression of the entire Twilight Twaga series at the end of day 30 tomorrow, or tomorrow. Wait, 20. No, oh geez, I have 2 more days of credits. Oh wow. Woo. Okay. Day 28. We are doing minutes 148 to 52. And we are doing to 152. Wow, toward the end, just stumbling as I'm running out of. Oh my God, the marathon's almost done. Those memes of people where someone comes up to help them up, but I don't have anyone to help me up. I have to gather the strength for myself. And so let's do that math. When it is 108 minutes, right? 140, if you do 60 plus 40, yeah, 108 minutes to 112 minutes here. I'm going to spoil something. No, I'll wait and tell you how much time is left tomorrow. I wanted to spoil and say how much is left, but we'll do that tomorrow. If you have one of those files, or you're watching it on a TV or something and you can see how much is left, then there's no spoiler here. But if you're listening along, I would just love for you to kind of wait in anticipation and to see how much it goes up under 2 hours. Because I've talked about it's under 2 hours, so there's no surprise there. Okay. Whew. So I guess there was a lot of setup to do before we did the 3, 2, 1 boop, but there it was. All right. We are looking at the woman being dragged off in this post-credit scene that sets up the entirety of the first half of what we saw in Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2. Countdown. 3, 2, 1, boop. Alright, so they're dragging them. At least their dispute with the Cullens is over, says old guy wants to die. RO over? Ha ha ha. Yeah, I mean, we know it's definitely not. Wait. Our dispute goes far beyond the fate of a mere human. And what might it be? It's the fate of a franchise ending, buddy. That's what it is. Zoom in on RO. They have something I want. Well, it's clearly the baby. That's not. I mean, that's absolutely clear. Oh, wait. If you ever leave me, baby. This song is Leave Some Morphine at My Door. Well, I mean, okay. But is this not Bruno Mars? Take a whole lot of medication. I've certainly heard this, but I'm not associating it 100% with an artist. We don't have any more. Okay. There's no religion that could save me. Wow, it's so funny that, the thing written by a Mormon all the stuff in here is just basically like, oh, death, die, everything's, there's nothing is anything. So keep in mind all the sacrifices that I'm making will keep you by my side, and from walking out the door, don't be no sunlight. Oh, okay. There's clear skies. See, hearing the lyrics in context of Twilight, just like the clouds, my eyes will do the same. What will they do? Just okay? What happens to the clouds? Oh, it's this fucking song Rain. Oh my god. Okay, but no, this is not Bruno Mars. Oh, I'm gonna struggle. No, this is not what this is about. This is not Play Guess This Thing. This is what I do with Alex when he asks me, hey, what's that song by Who's This Artist? Because I did radio for a while. And so I have a knowledge of music up to a certain point. Okay. So this film, I'm going to take it as a whole, not knowing the story. I was curious to find out how much of Breaking Dawn is the pregnancy and the honeymoon and all the wedding and stuff. Is it truly like, oh, we're at the halfway point of the book and this shit goes down? Because if so, then that's really good. But it really feels like they front loaded it with kind of a bunch of it's like, okay, I mean, clearly this is the era where we needed to have a part 2 stuff, and I don't know how you would make this one film. It is, I mean, there was so much that was already sort of like, and when we get in part 2 shoved in there, that it would be really hard to do every single thing that you needed to do in one film. So doing I guess if you have the beats, wedding, honeymoon, pregnancy, and then birth, that's four beats. If you want to have, I'm not sure where the act breaks would be in terms, I mean, I guess it'd be like, I feel like Act 2 with the pregnancy and then birth is sort of like your Act 3, because that's when things, the pregnancy is the ending Act 2 up until like things get scary with Act 3 when it's like the birth, I guess. So the honeymoon up until like inception of it is Act 1, So Act 1, there's not a lot of time dedicated to the table setting of what's going to be going on in the rest of part 1 and part 2, in a way, because it's about the wedding, and you gotta have that wedding. Like, this book has been leading to this so much, and if your target audience is women, then you are going to have a wedding, and you will spend a lot of time on it, and you will have snips of speeches, and you will show people from their life that they that aren't really now germane to the main story, or possibly have background stuff that goes on that is cut, I don't know, but are not germane to the movie story, at least. And then a little bit of time is spent table setting the honeymoon, and then you have to have, of course, the incredibly sensual, sexual, and then fucking going ham, apparently breaking up the entire thing, which leads to her conception, and then also this sort of inception in their heads that they will work on maybe in part 2, in the background again, where the person from Brazil that is part of the tribe has the legend of essentially like a vampire hybrid kid, and there's warnings and like, oh, you have things are going to be bad for you, and that's like, I think after like she realizes she's pregnant too, because she kind of is like, ooh, real fast. That's right, because she comes in and starts to clean up the poor working class people have to clean up after the vampire fucking, and so all of that just is getting to the beat plot point where we're sort of like now moving things on with this baby, Like the baby becomes what Ara wants. He says in the end of this in the movie, and so we then have to get this baby. So that's the next part of our beat, and of course you want to see the pregnancy and how traumatic it is. And I mean, I don't want to see it, but it's in here, and I'm sure a lot of women that have gone through pregnancy will actually relate to women and men who have gone through pregnancy will relate to the trauma of having a child go through you. So this escalated in the body horror way of the vamp child in you that is literally sucking the life out of you until you realize, oh, what a joy it is and everything's okay. And that's that. And that is all to set up what is essentially, I guess, the MacGuffin, but she's also the. No, well, no, she's not even like Renesmee is not 100% the Deus Ex Machina like Alice is, because she's the one that both puts the vision in Ara's head, where he has to go, what the fuck? Beep, 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 beep. People. Where they have to get the tribes person as well as the vision. So she's the one that kind of does everything in Act 2. We're talking about Act 2 stuff. I should actually break it down in Act 2. Okay, so anyways, with all of that in setting up one, I don't want to make too much judgments in terms of like what the material is bringing to it and the adaptation of that. But for sure, it is something where I thought it was weird in a way, but holistically, I guess makes sense. It just is not as much for me. Overall, this one is the one that I just was like, wow, a lot of, yep, that's happening. And that's fine. That's, sometimes what happens when you watch a movie, and that's okay. I would be curious what contemporary reactions were to these at the time. If, like, and I don't mean about people who are going in to, like, hate watch it, although I'm probably going to listen to the Heska Made of it that came out, back then, because tee-hee-hee. But, critically, people who, like, reviewed all of the series and stuff, and I'm just curious, like, what the sort of cresting is, and if it matches what my personal opinion of it is. I think these are two well-made movies in the sense of budget, production, everything. Like, the money is on the screen for the most part. There was a few janky things like tee-hee-hee CGI baby, but they had the money to try it, and do it. So, there's that. Okay. Part 2. We are pure credits at this moment, as far as I know, but it looks like it's the ones that are just scrolling from the top down, so I highly doubt we're going to get any postscript stuff. Unless it's the very end. Like, they tag something in at the final part of it. That's not me teasing something that I know. I'm just like, that's the only thing I can think of it. But they already had the montage already, our tooling montages. So get ready with an hour and 48 minutes to an hour and 52, or 108 minutes to 112 minutes. And the patented boop comes in 3, 2, 1, boop. We're on the set dressing and stuff right there. I mean, I hated some of the choices, I should say. Remember when I was complaining about the set design for the houses, but only because I thought it was like the perfect encapsulation of what was bad taste at that time. Okay. So part 2 is more of a whirlwind, because we have two sort of things at the top that we have to deal with, which are baby grow up and Bella get powers. So it's all about that, and and also Jacob imprinting. I guess that's the sort of the B to that dual A plot going on there. And we just see how they deal with that. We see, the baby grow the fuck up real quickly. And then we, have the overtures that, okay, here come the bad guys. And then it's just preparing people and gathering people for the bad guys. And then it's getting, Jacob and Renesmee ready for whatever the fuck that is. And then here's the lineup of the bad guys. We're bringing the girl. Again, what the fuck? And then, Deus Ex Machina of fake out with the death and everything. And then they just, agree to, like, fuck off and stay the way that they are, status quo. And it's implied that Bella and Edward live happily ever after. But, it doesn't feel like, it just feels like there's so much not of a conclusion. And again, that's the fault of the story, I'm assuming. I don't know if it's because they just didn't, wrap up some details that the story does, but I'm assuming there's not much of an epilogue, if any. It just is like, and they lived happy forever and ever. And like, okay. But I can't for a moment believe that, like, a peace lasts, that there aren't repercussions. Like, when do they die? They have to die at some point. Don't they? Are they there until the heat death of the universe? Like, something has to fucking happen to them. It just does. And we just are just left, in the lurch about it. I'm not saying I want to see their deaths or anything, but it is just sort of like this, in the credits where it just focuses on the book, they live happy forever and ever and ever. And you're like, well, no, they don't. The forever has like an asterisk that at some point, they could be killed or want to die, or an end just simply by the nature itself. So, but that is a what if that's left there. This one had more things that I liked in it, but it's like pretty batshit, in terms of pacing and stuff. And it's because I have to cram so many things in. I would have much rather we just have like, oh, everyone's here. Who are you? And then a quick flashback, almost like we did with Jasper and his Confederate nonsense when that one lady... Remember when that one lady was tracking him? Oh, my God. Or it was 3 women from Mexico, I believe, because he was, like, participating in the Spanish-American War, so he could say something about that to get away from the fact that he was working with the Confederates. Oh, God, this twist pretzel. These movies are pretzels. Except the fact that I like pretzels and I crave pretzels, and I don't crave these movies. Trying to think if there's like, some sort of equivalent. I mean, it's just twisting itself up. I mean, that's just the fact of it that they are. But I would give these movies a sort of like 3-star out of 5. Maybe the first one on a personal, it's personal 2 out of 5, but I give credit to doing service to the story at hand and what was given them. I do put that into account. It's sort of like Roger Ebert. Like, I'm ranking it on the scale of the movie that is presented and its genre and what, how I should be taking it. My personal stuff aside, I am doing this because it's a bit. It's a bit, everyone. It's a bit I can't escape. But I'm finally escaping Twilight and Twagus by it being done. I don't know if there's any possible other media that could happen that will suck me back in for Twilight, but for now, we are going to be reaching a near conclusion, an actual conclusion tomorrow. We're going to leave that up in the air, but I will tell you, it will be in the credits for sure.